Sten Sjostrand's search and recovery of Chinese porcelain from shipwrecks in the South China Sea is driven by his passion for the historical value of these artifacts.
Ships carry different kinds of cargo, not only ceramics. They carry textiles, wood, furniture, etc. But today, the only thing which survived is a ceramic. All the other items have perished over time in the sea.
Sten has recovered ceramic artifacts from every century over the last millennium. To keep funding his own explorations for shipwrecks, he sells his prized artifacts to international antique collectors.
There is today an increase worldwide in antique ceramics, particularly so in shipwreck ceramics, of the very simple reason that we know exactly where it comes from.
Interestingly, it is collectors from China who are taking an interest in investing in antique ceramics. New private wealth is making its presence felt at international antique markets.
The Chinese are very much aware of their own history and the value of their antique potteries and the history associated with it. And they prefer not to have this laying out in Europe and America and elsewhere, but to actually go out and buy it and bring it back home. This new demand has driven up the prices tremendously.
650,000, 700,000, 750,000, 800,000, 850,000.
Credible valuation of antique ceramics is led by international auction houses like Christie's, which today are managing astounding sales.
$1,000 for you, sir, at 850,000.
One Chinese porcelain jar sold for over 27 million US dollars. The most expensive piece of Asian art ever sold.
At $300,000.
When somebody selects a piece and when somebody sets a price on it, there's numbers of factors which are important. The style of decoration, the motifs, how well it is painted, the clay and the firing temperature, the remains of the glaze, all those factors. There are other pieces which may be more valuable, sitting in plates, painted in plates. It can be a unique motif. We do have very rare in the one-day shipwreck cargo is this one here, a single phoenix. It was the only plate in the cargo who had a single phoenix motif. And obviously, because it is only one of its kind in the shipwreck cargo, this piece will be much more valuable.
But the valuation of any piece has to start with the measure of its authenticity and provenance.
This clay used here actually belongs to the early 17th century. Now, if we look at a new piece, which I purchased in an antique shop, it is also in a cracked plate. But when we look at the clay, we can see that this clay have nothing to do with the 17th century. This is a reproduction. The motif belongs to the 17th century, but the clay is the 21st century.
In marketing his collection, Sten spends a great deal of time not only researching historical facts, but also cautioning new buyers on the multitude of tricks to look out for in the antique marketplace.
If I, for example, showed you a piece for $300 and another similar looking piece, and I want to sell that to you for $6,000, you would automatically assume that the $6,000 is the better piece or the genuine piece, and the other one may be a new production. And that's why the new production people or the fakers today overcharge their pieces. There is no provenance in it. Buyers tend to believe that it's genuine because the antique dealer or whoever charge you more for it. It's not true. I prefer to sell my pieces directly to the buyer if at all possible, because I like to share the information I have about each piece. There is no question about the story. A piece to a collector must have something else to it. If anybody buys a piece from a shipwreck from 1620, and that piece was found in the South China Sea because unfriendly nations shooting down one another's ships, it's an added story, it's an added benefit, and it's an added provenance to the piece. Obviously, it will be more valuable.